接下来我们有请下一位参赛选手，他的名字是Olivia Lau。Welcome。
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good afternoon. I'm Valencia Lau, age 16, and today I'll be talking about managing irritable bowel syndrome, also known as IBS. So, what is IBS? IBS is a very common and complex disease about your stomach and your intestines. In fact, up to 15% of the US population experience IBS. Symptoms usually appear under the age of 40, while many individuals also experience symptoms in their childhood and even early adult years. In fact, 5 million Canadians experience IBS. So, what are these symptoms of IBS? Some symptoms include constipation, diarrhea, abdominal pain, etc. Now, other than seeking help from a doctor, daily habits, lifestyle habits, also significantly improve these symptoms. These include regularly exercising or having a balanced diet. This also includes avoiding foods that worsen the symptoms or the triggering foods. So, what kind of foods should you avoid when you have IBS? Now, everybody have different opinions on this. Some people say to avoid dairy products. Others say to go on a vegetarian diet. So, what's the answer to this? The answer is, it varies. It varies from person to person. Today, we'll be focusing on a low FODMAP diet. FODMAP, developed by the research team in Monash University. FODMAP stands for fermentable, and the O, D, M, and P are different kinds of sugars. So, when carbohydrates are in your small intestines, they are broken up and absorbed by pumps on the cell surface. However, there are some short-chain carbohydrates, also the FODMAP, that are not as easily absorbed in the small intestines. So, when this occurs, water is absorbed into the small intestine, and as FODMAP travels into the large intestine, it provides bacteria energy, thus allowing them to release gas. So the water in the small intestine and the gas in the large intestine causes bloating, which sends signals to the brain causing abdominal pain. So, the FODMAP diet is a temporary diet. Note that this means that you would not be following this diet forever. It is merely a tool to help you narrow down which food is triggering your symptoms. According to the FODMAP diet, you should eat foods such as carrots, pineapples, eggs, etc. And you should avoid foods such as beans, garlic, bread, etc. Now, there are 3 phases in the FODMAP diet. The first phase is elimination, usually 2 to 6 weeks. What happens in this phase is that in this phase, you avoid all high FODMAP foods, so the breads, the beans, etc. This lessens your symptoms. The second phase is reintroduction, where you introduce the high FODMAP food back into your diet and figure out which specific food triggers your symptoms. The last phase, customization or personalization, is when you use all these knowledge and develop your own and unique long-term eating plan. So, the low FODMAP diet helps you improve your quality of life, develop your long-term eating plan, and also ensure that you resolve the issue of IBS. Now, other than the low FODMAP diet, There are also many other great daily habits that can significantly lessen the symptoms. One of them includes exercising. I encourage all of you to exercise for at least 30 minutes per day. Second is reducing stress. Did you know that stress and depression worsens the symptoms for IBS? Through practices such as meditation and yoga, you can reduce stress, thus reducing the symptoms. Thirdly, having adequate sleep. Sleep, as we all know, is essential for normal bodily functions. I recommend all of you to have at least 7 hours per day. And also, we should also drink enough water, keeping yourself hydrated. This ensures that your digestive system is working properly. I advise all of you to drink at least 8 glasses of water. It may seem like a lot, but it helps significantly. So, IBS, a fairly common disease that affects the digestive system. Yet, these daily habits, through adequate sleep, through a low FODMAP diet, through reducing stress, through drinking enough water, through exercising, can significantly lessen your symptoms. The experience for IBS is different for every individual. However, these habits help you develop your own unique combination of strategies to resolve the issue and lead to a happy and comfortable, healthy life. Thank you for listening.
这个是我们这个舞台上的每一届参加比赛，他们都在，而且每一次这个比赛都是全家总动员。那今天我们想问一下妈妈哈，就是再一次再回到这个舞台上，在今天我觉得孩子们每一次他们的选题都跟上一次是完全不一样的。您看一下这一次和上一次他们又有不一样的成长，都有哪些方面吗？
我觉得这连续第3年吧，就是第3年了哈，参加这个活动，我觉得收益还是非常大的。因为就是说，小孩子们从小他就注意到这个 topic， 然后呢，把这种健康生活的这种概念融进他自己的生活里面去，然后他每次就是说他自己的选题肯定是跟他自己是相关的，他们不会说是选一些就是跟 daily life 之外的。题目一般都是跟他们直接的 daily life 相关的，这样的话对他们其实是有很切身的这种好处的，因为就是说他从小他关注的这个健康管理，实际上是包括自己自身的 lifetime 的健康管理，这个健康管理，就他从小关注这些，养成了好的习惯，那么他终身受益，这个事情我觉得是非常好的，而且一年一年长大之后呢，他们这个选题也好，无论是选题还是做这个 research， 还是说就是说自己写这个slides PPT， 这个都是他们自己就是说一力完成，然后包括准备这些speech， 我觉得就是说在这个过程中，他们进步会非常的大，包括就是说这种主动性，包括这种就是说站在台上的这种大胆这个这种表现，就是说敢于表现自己的，敢于去用自己的观点去说服别人的这么一种能动性吧，我觉得就非常的难能可贵。
谢谢您的回答特别好。其实，在这个活动当中，其实应该是第3年参加我们的这个大赛了，而且每一次都是全家都会到我们的比赛的现场。那参加这个比赛的过程中，3个孩子在学校里，在他身边的朋友有没有也起到了一个这个 leader 的这个营养 nutrition 的一些 leader 的这些作用呢？
你们有吗？
有没有在学校里面和大家分享，就影响身边的人呢？
其实呢，我自己也不是那么 talkative， 所以呢也没说那么多。我也不是总是 take leadership， 所以我觉得我自己呢也不是什么好 leader。先做好自己，对别人嘛，我是 leadership 不怎么好。
好的，谢谢。那我的吉雅是大姐姐了。我的吉雅呢，同时也是在高中里面是他们学校的演讲俱乐部的创始人。那么今天也把他们那个演讲俱乐部创始人的成员也带来了参加我们今天的比赛。那我的吉雅，您今天来到了这个舞台，再次回到这个 我们的演讲大赛当中，还带了你的演讲俱乐部的成员，那你是怎么样和身边的同学和在学校里去更多的去宣传这样营养健康的平台和一些演讲的这些科学的吸引力？
就是这个 competition 呢，这个 nutrition competition， 我一般会在我的社团里面就跟他们说一下这个 competition 里面的 topic 有什么，之后跟他们说，因为我们有个舞台是吧，我们有个台能讲，这是一个很好的一次经验我们可以获得，所以我觉得呢，就这样子来让我的社团的那些成员来参加，这是一件就非常能获得很多经验的事情，对。所以我就是跟大家说之后做 Instagram post， 就让不只是我的社团，跟我全校的人也说一下。
你们能跟大家说你们全校大概有多少人？现在
2000吧左右。
2000多人。好，那我们其实，在我们的社区，在学校里面就特别的希望有更多站在这个舞台上成长起来的青少年，能够在社区里、在学校里成为 leader， 去让更多的人去关注以及去学习我们的营养和健康的科学信息。那么接下来我们有请我们的秘书长 Carrie 这也是我们的和我们这个家庭也是老朋友了。
对，他当初只有几岁的时候，只有这么
很小，7、8岁。
Hello everybody， 这个气势是非凡。但是呢，今天他特别谈到了，就是说，我去做演讲还是感到有压力。我就想问一问你。当你面对压力的时候，你想要那个压力呢，还是回避这个压力？你还是觉得因为上一次我们有那个 National Nutrition Day 有一个那个expert， 他 talk about 的那个就是 pressure 的事情，而且你也问了他好几个问题，就是你自己感觉到你喜欢压力吗？
看是做什么事情吧。压力呢可以让你表现得更好一些，让你 more focus， 帮助你 work harder for what you're doing for。但是呢，压力呢也会让你有时候呢会更 stressful 啊，你也知道会感觉不好。
对，当你感觉不好的时候，你是说爸爸妈妈帮帮我，还是说我可以走过去？我可以坚持下去，这压力是我可以承受的，而且我很喜欢这样。每次压力过后，你可能觉得是不是 different 了？
看这压力有多重吧。就是有时候呢，压力我自己能承受得住的话，我就自己承；但是呢，要是太大的话，我自己扛也不好。
谁需要帮助？一般会去找谁去帮忙呢？
有时候会跟我妈说话聊天一下，
找妈妈
去排解她的这种压力的承受力哈，非常棒，我们的小朋友。
那妈妈觉得挺幸福的吧？就是自己孩子跟自己分享这种压力，然后你能帮到他。
那当然的，就是说他们愿意跟我说他们的这个心里话。这当妈妈的肯定是特别高兴。
那你平时其实没有给他们特别多的压力，是他们把压力给你压过来了。
我一般来说我不会给他们太多的压力，但是我会有一些东西我希望他们去做。比如说我会鼓励他们来参加这些活动。虽然就是说每个人都不太就是说人的天性可能他不太喜欢说主动站出来去接受一些挑战。但是就是说我会鼓励他们，就是说尽量能够让自己多一点去尝试这些机会，这样的话对他们的成长也有好处。让他感觉到压力也是非常正常的，感觉到压力咱们就解决这个压力问题，然后给他足够的鼓励，跟给他足够的这个容错空间，那他就不会说有太大的这种心理负担。
So we can enjoy the pressure.
谢谢，来这一个幸福的家庭，而且每一次都站在我们的舞台上，看到他们的成长，那么也是我们这个比赛的一个宗旨，还有一个意义所在。
因为我特别记忆深刻的就是，他其实是蛮有领导力的。他们那会儿跟我那个儿子 Anderson 一起 practice，Do you remember? So you command Anderson do the speech, right? Because he's a little bit shy, right? You ask him go to do that.
是，曾经的小朋友现在也成了一个大姑娘了。那么我们也希望在今后的我们 Acpn 的青少年英文演讲大赛，关于这个营养和健康的活动中，我们也希望有更多社区里的学生、小朋友、家庭走到我们这个舞台上来参加我们的这个活动。
Yeah, they will enjoy Lincoln's science.
Victoria.
What is this? and they will enjoy their future. Okay.
好的，谢谢，谢谢大家，谢谢我们3位参赛选手，谢谢孩子们的家长，谢谢你。
Health. So health is something that everyone has been increasingly caring about. We're really, we're always thinking, what can I put into my body that will make me more healthy? What supplements should I be taking? What food groups should I be eating? Oh, how many hours of exercise should I be doing per day? But a lot of people aren't really thinking about the internal things to health. So, hello everyone, my name is Victoria Oradowskis. I'm currently 17 years old and I am studying in high school at Sir John A. Macdonald Collegiate Institute. And I have a huge array of hobbies. For example, obviously I love public speaking, I like to dance, I like sports, I like painting, I like crafting, I like so many things. In fact, I'm also the president of my school's health council. Something we often neglect, and I know I have neglected a lot in the past, is sleep. So today I'm going to be talking about the importance of sleep. Why exactly am I choosing the topic of sleeping? Well, a few months ago during my exam season, I would often sleep at 3, 4, or 5 a.m. because I was cramming for my exam and I'd come home late because of my extracurriculars. I would wake up after really minimal sleep and my friend asked me, Victoria, do you not feel tired? Do you not feel like you're making a lot of careless mistakes? And I said no. And that's when a light bulb really flicked in my head. I realized that I was so tired that I didn't even realize when I was tired anymore. I was making so many mistakes I thought were normal and were just part of life. But I realized in fact that this was not true and I was severely sleep deprived. I would have alarms, 5 alarms, and they would ring for 30 minutes and I still wouldn't wake up, for example. And this is the result of severe sleep deprivation. So why should we get enough sleep? There are a lot of short-term effects of not getting enough sleep. For example, not sleeping can make you feel more stressed and your mood will not be as good. You won't be able to talk to people as well because you're going to be groggy the whole day. When you sleep, you also process information you learn. So, actually sleeping more can actually help you perform better in school. Some long-term effects to not sleeping enough is you might get sick more often and you're more susceptible to long-term chronic health problems. You will also become overall more smart when you sleep more long-term, and it will help you improve your brain performance and it will maximize your emotional well-being. What are the effects of sleep on teens and kids? Well, when we sleep, we produce a certain type of growth hormone that allows us to grow taller, grow stronger, grow smarter, and so much more. So if we're not sleeping, we're not really getting as much of the hormone as we're supposed to be producing. The hormone is in fact suppressed. So I'm not becoming as smart as I possibly can be if I'm not really getting enough sleep. When you sleep, that's also when your body replenishes and that's when your wounds get fixed as well. So if you're not getting enough sleep, you're not really going to be building up the proteins as well and you're going to have cuts open for a lot longer. You won't be generally as healthy as you can possibly be. So how can I change my sleep habits for the better? There's so many factors to sleep and get ready because there are so many parts of sleep that you probably don't even know. So first of all, the biggest question that so many people have Googled probably hundreds of times is how many hours of sleep am I supposed to get? Sadly, I do not have the answer for you because it is not one size fits all again. Your sleep is determined genetically because it revolves around something called your circadian rhythm, and that is determined by genetics. There are some factors that can affect your circadian rhythm as well. So one thing might be puberty. So circadian rhythm is basically how your behavior are over a 24-hour cycle. So things like the sunset and the sunrise can affect your circadian rhythm, and that's why it changes while you travel. Something we face a big issue with it today is that we're often inside with lights, and that can affect your circadian rhythm. Or when you sleep, if you don't use blackout curtains, that affects your circadian rhythm as well. Something that affects it very majorly that a lot of people don't know is puberty. So when kids go through puberty, there are reproductive hormones being produced, and that shifts your circadian rhythm backwards. So kids might be tired at around 10 p.m., but as soon as they go through puberty, they're starting to feel more tired at 11, 12, or even 1 a.m., and they naturally want to wake up later. That's something super normal, and you should really forgive your teenagers for wanting to do this, because this is a really natural process that a lot of people don't know about. Your circadian rhythm can also shift with age as well, and that's why a lot of elderly people want to sleep a little earlier as well. Your circadian rhythm can also shift with chronic issues as well. So, there's a chart over here with the recommended amount of hours you should sleep. So if you're 3 to 5 years of age, you should sleep around 10 to 13 hours per day. And if you're 6 to 12, you should sleep around 9 to 12 hours. And then if you're around 13 to 18, you should sleep around 8 to 10 hours. And if you're an adult or senior, you should sleep around 7+ hours. Do not deviate from your normal circadian rhythm by more than 2 hours, because that's when you can sleep more, but you can still feel more tired and groggy. So even if you're trying to catch up on sleep, do not oversleep, because that's just going to be counterintuitive and you're throwing off your circadian rhythm. Something else that's really important with sleep is your sleep hygiene. There are so many factors to sleep hygiene. For example, the foods you eat. If you're eating a lot of junk food with horrible chemicals, you're going to feel really fatigued throughout the day, even if you slept enough. So make sure you eat the proper nutrients you need for your body and eat, obviously, the correct amount of food for each food group. Something else that's super important is your environment. So make sure you're not really skimping on your bedding, your sheets, your mattress, because good sleep can impact your mood a lot. Something else that's important is exercising throughout the day so you feel tired at night and you're ready to sleep. But do not exercise right before bed, because your heart rate is going to go up and you're not going to be able to fall asleep anymore. Something else that our body likes is sleeping in cooler temperatures. So I recommend you sleep at around 18 degrees Celsius so your body enjoys the sleep more and you fall asleep more quickly. Something else that's important for sleep hygiene is making sure that you're only using your bed for sleep. So don't do your homework on your bed, don't watch TV on your bed, because that's when your brain starts mixing the area up. But if you only sleep on your bed, once you get on the bed, your brain tells you, oh, I know, it's time to sleep. I need to sleep. Something else I recommend you doing is not watching your devices right before you sleep, because screens produce blue light and that blocks melatonin. Melatonin is something that helps you fall asleep. So if you're blocking melatonin, you're not going to fall asleep as quickly as you want to. If you must use your devices, then I recommend you invest in a pair of blue light glasses to block the blue light so you can fall asleep more quickly. Something else that's really common in our modern day society is jet lag. Because a lot of us are very privileged to be able to travel around the world, we're faced with completely different cycles. You know, all the way across to China, that's a 12-hour time difference. This can be completely taxing on the body and make you feel extremely tired. So I can recommend you not to change your circadian rhythm that much, but if you do, try to really be strict on your sleeping and make sure you recover as fast as possible, or it can really affect your mental state. Some things that can help you fall asleep if you're having trouble falling asleep are some melatonin. Melatonin is what you produce to help you fall asleep. And some people take pill supplements of melatonin or gummy supplements of melatonin. Well, melatonin is kind of a slippery slope, because if some people take it long term, your body kind of adjusts to melatonin and you need more and more to fall asleep. And also, if you take too much melatonin, it can actually have opposite effects and make you feel more awake. But if you want some more natural ways to fall asleep more quickly, there are some foods that can actually promote falling asleep more quickly. For example, we first have kiwis. They have carotenoid, which can help you fall asleep more quickly. Cherries actually have natural melatonin in it that can help you fall asleep. And a warm glass of milk has tryptanoid that can help you really fall asleep faster because of certain amino acids that are in the milk. So something that's really crucial for you to understand to get the best sleep possible is your sleep cycle. The sleep cycle is super duper complicated, but let me try to simplify it for you. So if you look over here to your sleep cycle, you can see the first stage is N1. This lasts around 5 to 7 minutes, and this is when you're first falling into sleep. You can easily wake up after being in the first cycle because this is when your body relaxes a little bit, but not really completely. So the next stage over here is N2. This is where you're in light sleep. This lasts around 35 to 35 minutes, and this is where your muscles relax even more, and this is where your eyes stop moving, and you're really getting into that sleep. And you have light brain activity. So the third stage to your sleep cycle is over here called deep sleep. This is where you do not want to wake someone up. Because if you wake someone up while they're in deep sleep, then they will not be very happy with you and you will be more tired throughout the rest of the day. Deep sleep is a really, really important phase in your sleep because this is where delta waves are being produced, and this is where you really process the information you learn throughout the day. This is where your memory is being established, and this is where your creativity comes from. If you're not getting enough deep sleep, you're not going to be your best self, your most creative and smart self. The last stage of the sleep cycle is called the REM cycle, which stands for rapid eye movement. This is where all your vivid dreams are happening. You can dream during any sleep cycle, but the REM cycle is where the best dreams or most intense dreams are formed. A sleep cycle usually lasts from 90 minutes to 110 minutes, but it can be affected by, for example, your age, insomnia, alcohol, and more. Those things all decrease your sleep cycle. Why is this bad? Well, if your sleep cycle is decreased, then that means that you're not getting as much deep sleep and REM sleep. So you're not really processing as much information, your muscles aren't building as well, and you're not becoming smarter. Naps are also a very controversial topic with sleep. Some people think naps are good, some people think naps are bad. Well, they can be good if done in moderation. So naps help with relaxation and help decrease fatigue. And it's recommended that you nap for around 30 minutes because this is right before you hit the deep sleep phase. Because as I said earlier, once you hit that deep sleep phase, if you're woken up from a nap, you're going to be more tired than before you even started that nap. So if you must take a nap for more than 30 minutes, I recommend you waking up after an hour and a half because that's when you complete one whole sleep cycle so you don't wake up groggy. Well, Victoria, what if I'm doing all this stuff? I'm sleeping 8+ hours, I'm following good sleep hygiene, and I'm not taking too many naps, and I'm taking under 30-minute naps. Why am I still tired? Well, sleep is very complicated too. There's so many other factors that can make you feel tired even when you're getting enough sleep. So let's first talk about health. So if you have a lot of underlying medical conditions, that might affect your quality of sleep as well. And nutrients are very important to feeling awake throughout the day. So if you're deficient in things like iron, magnesium, B1, B2, B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, well, guess what? You're still going to feel tired throughout the day, even if you've had enough sleep. A lot of you might think, oh, I'm probably not deficient in any of these vitamins, but over 50% of the world's population is deficient in vitamin D. So I suggest you to go to the doctor and regularly check what vitamins you're deficient in because this is really important for our general mood. Some chronic stress can also make you tired when you've gotten enough sleep. Something else that's very common is insomnia. This is kind of a sleeping disorder, and this is where you have trouble falling asleep or staying in sleep. This is very detrimental because if you're constantly waking up throughout the night, you're not getting enough of that REM and deep sleep. This can be caused from stress, anxiety, depression, or simply aging. It's more common in women rather than males because a lot of estrogen is produced during pregnancy, so it really blocks that melatonin and you have trouble falling asleep. So if you have insomnia, it's incredibly important for you to consult a doctor so you can really get that good sleep. Now we're going to be talking about sleep debt. For example, if I sleep really well this week, I'm getting 8 hours every single day, but next week I'm only getting 5 or 6 hours every day, well, the week after that is going to hinder in my favor. Sleep debt carries on. So if I didn't sleep well last week, I can still feel tired this week if I'm sleeping enough. So can we recover from sleep debt? Well, yes, we can. It's possible, but it's really difficult, to be honest. You can only recover from sleep debt gradually because if you sleep 2 more hours than your normal sleep cycle, then you feel more tired. And for short-term sleep debt, to recover from 1 hour of lost sleep, it can take up to 4 days, which is a really long time. And if you want to recover from great sleep debt, like significant sleep debt, that can take more than 9 days, and sometimes you might not ever be able to recover from the sleep debt. Sleep is something that not a lot of people talk about, and a lot of teens like me struggle from. And the biggest advice I would give you to take away from my presentation is just enjoy your sleep process. Trust me, if you really embrace getting more sleep and trust the process and get more sleep, you will be the smartest, most powerful you ever will be. And make sure to take on leadership. Tell everyone around you all the information you learned today. Make sure everyone is getting adequate sleep so we will have a very happy society. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you get wonderful sleep.
If you had the energy, yes, and that's a lot of energy. It's been a week, it's been a full day, and yeah, you're still very animated, very informative, very engaging.
Thank you.
One question for you. I have a lot more questions, but we have so little time now. I thought of one question. I'm curious. What are your thoughts on listening to soothing music or white noise sleep?
White noise is very interesting. So it kind of relates to, are you supposed to listen to music while studying? Again, it all depends on you as well, because white noise can actually be beneficial for many people, because a lot of people have trouble. For example, little kids need night lights to sleep, which isn't very good for them.
Right.
But honestly, falling asleep with white noise is better than not falling asleep with white noise. So it can be very beneficial for you, and whatever works, whatever fits you. Yeah.
But again, like you had said before, not one size fits all.
Yeah.
Pick it up. One size doesn't fit all. Yes, well said. Very, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to move on. So thank you for your time. And